Hey guys, welcome back to our Houston Texans franchise in Madden 2003. The playoffs are just around the corner. That'll be our next episode on Wednesday. Right now we're looking at the standings, and then we'll look at the stats and award winners and the Pro Bowlers for this season. We are the last team to make the playoffs. Actually, notice the Chargers went 8-8 and won their division. Very, very poor AFC West. And the Browns, who beat us, and take a look at their schedule. They were 6-10 on the season, but they had a lot of close losses. And the first close one coming to the Jets, they lost by 3 points in Week 5. And Week 3, the Colts gave them their worst loss on the year. They lost to Mike Vick and the Falcons 24-20. The Bengals beat them 29-20. Titans beat them 27-20. It's a lot of close games. And this team easily could have won 10 games on the year. As you see, they lost to the Ravens by 5, the Saints by 3, the Steelers by 3, and the Bengals by 7 again. The Panthers, they beat the snot out of them 55-14. Panthers went 5-11 on the year. And they lost to the Broncos 20-13. So they easily could have been 10-6, maybe even 11-5 on the year. So our loss, really wasn't too crazy. Tim Couch had a Pro Bowl season. William Green ran for over 1,000 yards on the year, I believe. And their defense was pretty decent as well. So the Browns are an up-and-coming team. I expect them to have a winning record next season. The Cowboys went 3-13. Lions and the Jaguars go 2-14. Wow. Take a look at the AFC. Ravens are the 1 seed, Titans 2, Steelers, Patriots, Texans, and the Jets went 10-6 and missed out on the playoffs. They allowed more points than they scored on the year. NFC, it's the Eagles, Bucks, Packers, Rams, Giants, and Redskins in the playoffs. And David Carr led the Chicago Bears to a 9-7 record, and they missed the playoffs. So we trade him away, and we make the playoffs, and he does not. So I think that says something about that. The Ravens and the Steelers both go 11-5. AFC North, really solid division. AFC South, Titans, Texans, and the Colts, who have been riddled with injuries throughout the both seasons that we've played so far in this series, and they're really struggling. Patriots go 10-6. They make the playoffs. Dolphins and the Bills go 8-8. So every team in that division had at least a 500 year. The Chargers go 8-8, win their division. The Packers 11-5. Brett Favre scoring 359 points on the season. Buccaneers win the NFC South. Saints go 9-7. 3 teams from the NFC East win 10+ games, and that is safe to say that is the best division in the NFL in our second season. NFC West, the Rams win it. Take a look at our season leaders. Carson Palmer, 20 touchdowns and 4 picks. And that is phenomenal touchdown interception ratio. He almost threw for 1,900 yards, 60% completion percentage, sacked 26 times. And Larry Johnson, 1,427 yards on the ground with 14 touchdowns and a 5.5 average. Quentin Griffin, 541 yards on 103 carries. Larry Johnson, 108 broken tackles, along of 64 on the season. Jabbar Gaffney, 893 yards receiving, 8 touchdowns. Billy Miller, 8 touchdowns. Bryant Johnson, rookie out of Penn State, also had 8 touchdowns with 666 yards. Willie Jackson, 499, 3 touchdowns. Larry Johnson had a touchdown catch. Billy McMullen, 182 yards on 10 catches with 2 touchdowns. Justin Fargas, Lorenzo Neal also had a touchdown. And Terry Hardy's only catch on the year, a 5-yarder for a touchdown. Take a look at the offensive line. Leonard Davis allowed 13 sacks on the season, and that ties the rest of the entire offensive line. That's unbelievable. Victor Green leads the team in tackles with 71. Jamie Sharper leads the team in tackles for a loss with 10. 4 of our top 5 tacklers were in the secondary. So we need our front 7 to get a little bit better. Jay Foreman had 9 tackles for loss. Kylie Wong with 8. Corey Redding with 5. Also had 3 sacks. Had a decent rookie season, but we did see him get run over quite a bit. Sam Adams had 4 sacks this year, and that's 1 more than he had last year after we signed him in free agency before season 1 started. Jamie Sharper had 3 sacks, all in 1 game. Gary Walker with 2, Kendrick Clancy with 2, Aaron Glenn had 1, Kylie Wong, and that is it for sacks. Not a whole lot there. Aaron Glenn and Marcus Coleman led the team with 5 picks each. Aaron Glenn, 27 pass deflections, Coleman with 23. No forced fumbles on the season, even though you guys saw us force a couple of them at least. 2 defensive touchdowns. Max DePace, 18 of 25 in his rookie season, along with 52. Perfect for extra points. And you see most of his misses were 50-plus yards. He was 1 of 5 on the season. Jonathan Kilgo, 29 punts, and there was 10 inside the 20, only 1 touchback. Those are pretty solid numbers. Kick return, Justin Fargas had a touchdown, 92-yarder on the year. Terry Fair had 1 before he injured himself for the season. Justin Fargas filled in nicely, getting a touchdown himself. Brett Favre led the league in passing yards with 3,822. Peyton Manning was right behind him. Dante Culpepper. David Carr threw for 3,358 yards, 20 touchdowns, 10 picks, but that was not enough to get Chicago into the playoffs. Tim Couch throws for 3,185 yards, 26 touchdowns, 16 picks. Solid year for the Cleveland Brown quarterback. Jason White, rookie out of Oklahoma, had himself a heck of a year. Maybe getting the Rookie of the Year award. Who knows? We'll find out later on in the video. Brett Favre and Kerry Collins threw 27 touchdowns on the season. They tied for number 1. Quincy Carter threw 12 touchdowns and 27 interceptions. And I think it is safe to say that Dallas really needs to move on and possibly draft a new quarterback, because Carter is just not getting it done for them. And I believe they've only won 5 games in the 2 seasons that have been played so far. Corey Poss, rookie quarterback out of UCLA, had a pretty decent season. It didn't look like he started every game. 12 touchdowns, 18 picks for him. Completion percentage, Kurt Warner, 72%. That is ridiculous. Brett Favre at 67%. Tim Couch at 66%. Mike Vick sacked 57 times. Oh my. NFL rushing leaders. Let's see who led the league in rushing. A lot of people having over 1,000 yards rushing on the year. William Green, 1,094. Mike Vick ran for 1,058 yards. A couple guys got just over 1,000. Darren Diedrich, rookie out of Nebraska, is second for rookies in rushing yards behind Larry Johnson, who had almost double of Diedrich. Eddie George and Garrison Hurst led the league in touchdowns with 15. Larry Johnson in second. Johnson fumbled 3 times this season. Zahir Hakeem fumbled 12 times. Steve Smith fumbled 11 times and still made the Pro Bowl. 108 broken tackles by Larry Johnson. That led the NFL, and that is awesome. What a great season for the rookie out of Penn State. Just a phenomenal athlete. 20-plus yard runs. Mike Vick had 11 of those. Larry Johnson and Quentin Griffin right behind them. Daniel Graham led the NFL in receptions with 97. Randy Moss behind him with 95. Bubba Franks, Terrell Owens, Josh Reed, Andre Johnson, rookie out of Miami for the Arizona Cardinals, had 90 catches, 1,204 yards, and 3 touchdowns. Great rookie season for him. Randy Moss led the NFL in receiving yards, almost getting 1,500. Andre Johnson up there again. Joe Horn, 1,141. Todd Pinkston made the Pro Bowl this season, had 9 touchdowns and 87 catches. Antoine Savage, rookie wide receiver out of Oklahoma, had 1,000 receiving yards on the year. Another great rookie. Randy Moss, 13 touchdowns. Only 4 players had double-digit touchdown catches. Travis Taylor had 11. Dallas Clark, rookie out of Iowa, had 0 drops on the season, 2 touchdowns, only a long of 19. Donald Lee, rookie tight end out of Mississippi State, had 67 catches, 470 yards, but no touchdowns for the Bulldog. Travis Taylor led the NFL in drops, tied Kevin Johnson with 11. Kareem Kelly had 9, rookie out of USC for the Oakland Raiders. Reno Mahe, rookie out of BYU, had 8 drops as well. Along of 52 for him. Andre Johnson dropped 8 of them. Todd Pinkston and Quincy Morgan had the longest receptions in the season. Nah Brown with an 80-yarder. Tony Gonzalez and Rod Smith also with 80-yarders. Patrick Kearney led the NFL in tackles for loss with 20. That's insane. 15 sacks for Tommy Polley and Patrick Kearney. Darren Howard and Mike Peterson with 13 apiece. Grant Wistrom with 12. Brian Young, 11. A lot of guys having double-digit sack years. And a lot of these guys had more sacks than our entire team combined. Adrian Wilson, safety for Arizona, had 11 sacks. They also had 3 interceptions to go along with 98 tackles. Ty Warren had 10 sacks, rookie. William Joseph, rookie out of Miami, defensive tackle, also had 10 sacks on the season. Albert Hainsworth, 10 sacks. He made the Pro Bowl. Michael Strahan, he was injured and still somehow got 10 sacks. Charles Woodson, 15 interceptions this season. Unbelievable number. Rondé Barber had 10. He was 5 behind him and he got second. But Charles Woodson definitely deserving of the Pro Bowl. And he had 10 interceptions last season, so he's got 25 picks in a 2-year span. I just don't really know what to say about that. That's just amazing. Rondé Barber, 10 picks. He had 5 the previous season and 10 in 2001. So he's got 25 picks in a 3-year time span. Ed Reed, who was injured for about 4 or 5 weeks, still had 7 interceptions, 110 tackles, 8 sacks, and he made the Pro Bowl. He's a phenomenal athlete, just really unstoppable. It's really hard to game plan around him, and we were fortunate enough to play the Ravens when he was injured. Terrence Newman, rookie out of Kansas State, had 5 interceptions on the season. 6 pass deflections, 2 forced fumbles, and a fumble recovered for him. Aaron Gladden led the NFL in pass deflections with 27. Coleman got 4th with 23 while being injured. Ed Reed had 6 forced fumbles. Charles Tillman, rookie out of UL Lafayette, had 2 blocks on the season for the Carolina Panthers. Jason Gilden, 3 defensive touchdowns. Sammy Knight with 2, and Rondé Barber with 2. Laroni Galashaw, rookie cornerback out of Louisville for the Kansas City Chiefs, had a defensive touchdown. Antoine Peak for the Colts had a touchdown. Rookie out of Cincinnati, right end. Andre Woolfolk, rookie out of Oklahoma, had a defensive touchdown. He plays for the Arizona Cardinals. Terrence Kyle, Texas A&M safety, had a defensive touchdown for the Ravens. Terrence Newman had one. And I think that is it for the rookies. Sebastian Janikowski, 38 of 45 on the season, along with 56. Bunch of guys kicking 30-plus field goals. Jonathan Ruffin was 29 of 41, rookie out of Cincinnati, who also plays for the Kansas City Chiefs. He had a heck of a year, along with 55 for him. It's really cool seeing all these rookies. John Anderson, rookie out of Washington, starting kicker for the Jaguars, 27 of 40. I like seeing all these names from, imported from our NCAA football 2003 dynasty with the Bulldogs. It just adds to the realism. As John Anderson, rookie out of Washington, had the longest field goal. A bunch of guys had a 56-yarder on the season. Todd Severs, rookie out of Miami, had 2 field goals blocked on him this year. Cowboys just can't seem to do anything right in this series. He also missed an extra point. Not a lot happening for the Dallas Cowboys. Jay Feely made 7 50-yard field goals. Neil Rackers punted the ball a few times, 48 overall kicker. I think we all remember his kicks against us this year. Chris Hansen had 2 punts blocked on him. Dan Straczynski, 42 punts inside the 20-yard line, only 9 touchbacks. On to the kick return stats. Steve Smith had the most return yards, 1,355. Delta O'Neal had 2 touchdowns on kick returns. See if we find any rookies on here besides Justin Fargas. I don't think we will. TJ Hushmanzada had a kick return for a touchdown. On to the punt returns. Philip Buchanan, Brock Marion, and Peter Warwick all had 2 punt returns for touchdowns. Justin Fargas, I believe, is the only rookie to have one. Steve Smith had a punt return for a touchdown. Zahir Hakeem. Terry Fair, who missed most of the season for us. Very disappointing after we signed him in free agency in the offseason. Ed Reed wins the MVP after missing 4 or 5 games. The Ravens still went 11-5, but you could see the impact he has, especially in our game. They had somebody else in there, and we torched them. Hell of a year for Ed Reed. Sean Alexander, 1,432 yards, 14 touchdowns. Interesting enough that Larry Johnson is not on there since he had pretty much the same exact stats as Sean Alexander. Keo Spikes, 8 sacks, 5 picks on the year, 168 tackles. Lawyer Malloy, 104 tackles, 7 picks, and a touchdown. And those are the MVPs for the NFL. Offensive Player of the Year, Sean Alexander wins that one on an 8-8 Seahawks team. Eddie George, Amon Green, Brett Favre, and Marshall Faulk all on the Offensive Player of the Year list. Defensive Player of the Year is won by Ed Reed, no surprise. NFL Rookie of the Year, Larry Johnson takes that one home. After a heck of a campaign, Carson Palmer might have won it if he had stayed healthy the whole year, but he did miss 5 or 6 games for us. Andre Johnson gets 3rd, Antoine Savage 4th, and Curtis Fagan for the 49ers gets 5th. Defensive Rookie of the Year, Kendall Pope, right outside linebacker for the Dolphins, rookie out of Florida State. He had a heck of a year, 68 tackles, 5 sacks. Justin Smith, rookie left end for the Redskins out of Nebraska. He had a great year as well, 9 sacks. Terrence Newman, rookie out of K-State, 5 picks. Ty Warren, 10 sacks. Rookie out of Texas A&M. And Antoine Peak gets 5th on an 8-8 Indianapolis Colts team. He had 9 sacks, 3 fumbles recovered, and 1 forced. Great season for him. Jim Fossil wins Coach of the Year. Andy Stump gets 2nd for the Houston Texans. Jeff Fisher, Brian Billick, and Andy Reid round out the NFL Head Coach of the Year award. Brett Favre wins Best Quarterback. Donovan McNabb, Dante Culpepper, Peyton Manning, and Tom Brady. Sean Alexander, Eddie George, Amon Green, Larry Johnson, and Garrison Hurst are the top 5 for Best Running Back. Wide receivers won by Randy Moss. David Patton was 2nd. Travis Taylor, Rod Gardner, Marvin Harrison round that out. And there is 3 Steelers on the Best Offensive Lineman of the Year award. 51 pancakes for the guy in 5th. Unbelievable. Best D-line, we will not see any of our guys on there. Best linebacker, no Texans to be seen. They have Patrick Kearney as a linebacker apparently. Best DB, surprisingly enough, Charles Woodson got 3rd after having 15 interceptions. Janikowski wins Best Kicker. And here is the Pro Bowl voting. Larry Johnson is the 3rd halfback in the AFC. Heck of a year for that young man. Justin Griffith, former Mississippi State Bulldog, gets on there at the 2nd fullback spot. He plays for the Steelers. And I do believe that that is it for the Texans on the Pro Bowl list. So I'm going to let you guys take a look at the rest of this. Our next Texans video will be out Wednesday. That'll be our playoff matchup in Foxborough, taking on the New England Patriots and Tom Brady. It's going to be a great game. We beat him week 1, so we'll see if we can't repeat the outcome of that ball game. But I will see you guys Wednesday with that. Monday will be Mississippi State versus Troy State, so stay tuned for that one. And I will try to get a rivalry video out possibly Thursday or Friday, and that'll be South Carolina versus Clemson. But until Monday, take it easy, guys.